Got a pretty good crowd.
All right. So,
Oh.
let me double check. Make sure. Got everyone here. Oh, no, wrong one. Let's go. Where's the most current one? Oh, where's my... Oh, this must be the one. Alright, cool. I'm just checking out my different... Oh, there's one. And then this one. Oops. Oh.
We're live.
All right. Yeah, we are officially live. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by our special guest, Doc Salem, aka Preston Asevedo.
AKA Nikki the Pipe, AKA.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, where did you get the nickname Nikki the Pipe?
It's from one of the characters from Rockabilly Roadtrip. It's the main character from Rockabilly Roadtrip. I created my Twitter like way back. I mean, like freaking years ago, dude. I don't know how long Twitter's been around, but probably when Twitter first started. I didn't use Twitter until the last 3 years. I started using it, and and because I used to just do Facebook, and I was like, this can't be it for social media. I was like, because Facebook, it's pretty fucking lame, to be quite honest. Yeah. You know, but so I started concentrating more on my actually once I got into Comicsgate, I started using Twitter a lot more. And to be honest, I probably should have been using Twitter from the get-go, because Twitter seems to be a better platform to go ahead and get your books, your message, any type of advertisement you want to do out there, you know. And it can be a cesspool too, but it depends on what you're there for. Like if you're there to, you know, root around for controversy, you're going to find it. If you're there to root around for people to back your book and read your material and check out your art, you're going to find that too, you know. So it's all about what you're trying to get out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Twitter is good for both of those, actually. And like you said, it is a cesspool. Yeah. Welcome to J Money, Justin McClure. Welcome to Fate Salvation. Good to have you guys.
What's up, guys?
Welcome, Mananui. Got here on time this time. You know it. Thanks for dropping the link, Fade. Right on. Good to finally have you on here.
Yeah, we've been going back and forth a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really pleased with this cool book you've got here, Nine Devils, the comic, or Roman numeral 9 Devils. So is this your very first campaign? It looks like it, because I don't see any mention of multiple campaigns listed.
Nine Devils was created in 2012 when I was recovering from a surgery. And I thought like after the surgery I'd have all this time to go ahead and do all kinds of work and stuff like that, and bonus, you know, because I'll be loaded on meds. But it didn't work out that way. Because the recovery was terrible, you know. So I was basically on the couch. I couldn't do anything, and I was loaded because, you know, I was on like meds and all that kind of stuff. And it was sinus surgery, so they had to go up in my sinus cavity and basically like dig out everything, you know. Okay. And so I had these like tampons stuck in my face, you know, like in all of my sinus cavities. So I felt like garbage, you know. I couldn't really speak that much because I had blood settling on my vocal cords and stuff like that. So I was like, So there's nothing I can really do besides watch TV, play video games, or like go off into my own imagination. And what came up was Devils, because I would, I was, that's how I came up with Devils. I was just loaded and daydreaming. So basically that's where Non-Devils came from. Now I completed the first issue of Non-Devils and I started work on a second issue. And I ran a campaign for the first issue on Kickstarter way back. I mean, like maybe 2014, 2013, something like that. I was going through some legal trouble due to a divorce, and I had to drop the series. Now, Non-Devils was my first attempt at writing and drawing a story. Before this, I would have ideas and I would co-plot, but I was never the one to actually go ahead and write the whole series. Of course I was also doing panel work back then and covers and stuff like that. But so I made a ton of mistakes like with Devils that I fixed, but I had to fix during production, and anybody else who's a comic creator out there knows that's not what you want to fix your mistakes. You want to start off. And this is a hard lesson I had to learn. You want to start off with a strong foundation and build on that. You don't want to have to fix your foundation while building your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it still worked out. Like I fixed it, but I quickly, when it was time for me to get back on the series, I realized that I wasn't a talented enough writer to write the world of Non-Devils. Like Non-Devils is Star Wars, and I was trying to write like Daredevil. You know what I'm saying? Like I was talented enough to write Daredevil, but I wasn't talented enough to create a universe, like Star Wars. So
all right.
When I decided to go ahead and pull this off the shelf, I talked to Brian Criscow because I read Brian's Six Gun Gorilla, and I was highly impressed with Six Gun Gorilla. And let me tell you why I'm impressed with Six Gun Gorilla. Because Brian took a public domain character, and at the same time he was putting out his Six Gun Gorilla, Dynamite was putting out Six Gun Gorilla too, right? Their version of Six Gun Gorilla.
That's hell, I never realized it was a public domain character.
It is. And Brian buried their book. Like he literally buried it. Like nobody was talking about that book. All the attention was on Brian's book. And after reading Brian's book, I know why. Because Six Gun Gorilla is so well written that I'm not too big of a Western fan or a gorilla fan unless it's King Kong and he's fighting a giant monster or something like that. But it won me over, dude. Like I was like, this is phenomenal. Once I started reading the trade, like I couldn't put it down, so I knew Brian was the right guy to work on Non-Devils, and so when I approached Brian about it, Brian was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. So we decided to go ahead and revive like Non-Devils to 2021. But in the meantime, I had all this stock of the original Non-Devils at my house, and I decided to put that up so anybody who wants it can get in on it now. And this is the original version of Non-Devils. And a lot of the characters in this version will be appearing in the revamped version that me and Brian's working on for 2021. So yeah, this is kind of like, getting in early on a lot of the limited run that I did back then. And, this is definitely going to be a collector's item once we finish with the new series. Right now, I don't know if anybody's interested in commissions or anything like that, but I have one sketch cover left for the campaign. And if all 12 of them go, I'm planning on not doing just the front cover, but doing all the way around and doing it in full color for each one of them. So that's available. And this is also a second chance campaign for anybody that's missed out on Rockabilly Roadtrip. And that's where my alias Nikki the Pipe comes from. The Rockabilly Roadtrip series. And so Non-Devils right now, I'm getting ready to ship out all of everybody's books because this is printed. There's no waiting on it getting printed or anything like that. Like this is printed. The Roadtrip books are printed. All that stuff's getting sent out. I'm trying to get it all out this week. But I don't want to rush it out here. I want to make sure that everybody's order is, to where it's got to be. The only books that aren't going to be shipped out immediately or the ones that where you have a sketch cover, because it's going to take me a minute to get those done. And I'm thinking about going ahead and doing live videos of me doing each one of those sketch covers and calling out whoever is the backer of that particular cover that I'm doing.
Nice.
And also let's not forget Doc Salem is still available. It's running late because of the CV, affecting my colorist.
Oh man.
It's still that's still available as well. So yeah.
Right.
So questions? You got a question?
So so this version of Nine Devils, you said that during the production process you had to recover from a number of hurdles. What kinds of issues did you encounter during production that you had to overcome?
You're going to have to repeat that.
I'm sorry. So if I understood correctly, when you first were doing Nine Devils, when you were first making it, you encountered a number of hurdles, some issues that are probably common with people doing their first book. What kinds of issues did you encounter that you had to get past?
Well, for one thing, I'm big into novels, like by different guys like Richard Kadrey, Sandman Slim, and fucking The Realm of Kings. I mean, The Light of Things to Come by Brandon Sanderson, and all those guys. Like I love like putting on an audiobook and working and just listening to the audiobook, because music it puts my brain to sleep, whereas audiobooks keep me engaged, while I'm working. So with that said, I tried to write my first comic like a novel. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
And you can't do that. It's like I've learned the benefit of seeing a comic from both angles, from an artist's point of view and a writer's point of view, and it's attacking it like that, because you kind of have to do that. Because you can't, like, your descriptions in your story aren't going to translate well. You have to give the artist direction and trust that he's going to take care of like half of the story. You see what I'm saying? Like action sequences and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And also one movement per panel. Like you can't do multiple movements per panel. You see what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't work. Like you can't have the guy shaking your hand and running away at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not how comics work,
Yeah.
So it was a lot of that, and it was a lot of overwriting, because at the time, like I had all these different actions that were going into the book, per page, but it was too much per page. Like you can't have something that should be like the main part of a page. You can't have two actions like that happening on a single page. Like somebody dying on a page, and then you could have something else like just like happening that should be like a major impact on that same page. It doesn't work. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Because you're not doing the book justice. Like, McFarlane used to say that he knew like there would be these major sequences coming up in his books, and like the way he used to attack those is he would make the page before it. He used to make it like that page that hit before would be kind of like, eh. That way, when you get to that main page, you would be blown away. You'd be like, oh no, because it was kind of a buildup. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's another thing too. Like it all has to do with storytelling, and storytelling from an artist's point of view, and also from a writer's point of view. And I think I benefited from screwing up that first book, that first script, because it taught me so much about writing comics and illustrating comics. Like I've always been a good storyteller with pictures, but it was a whole different beast once you try to put words to it. You know what I'm saying? Once you try to write the script and then go ahead and do the illustrations with it. And that's like, I learned quickly, like you gotta really, like it's a completely different beast than any other. It seems simple, but that's where it deceives you. You see what I'm saying? Because there's nothing simple about writing a comic book, because it's taken from 2 points of view. It's taken from an artist's point of view, like a visual point of view, and a literal point of view too. So you have to attack it on both fronts. And like with Doc Salem, like I fixed all those mistakes. And Doc Salem is a much more action-packed, and like it's a harder hitting book than what my original Non-Devils novel was, Mm-hmm. But and with the new series, the new Non-Devil series, we're actually, the way I told Brian was this: I wanted this to be kind of like heavy metal circa 1972. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to have like, I mean, it's not going to be a porno comic, but I want sex involved. I want violence. I want gore. I want strong storytelling with like major visuals, so that's where we're going with the new Non-Devils that's coming in 2021.
So do you subscribe to the line of thinking where when it comes to putting down to paper the story, that every single panel has some meaning, has some kind of, tells a piece of the story?
Well, yeah, it has to. Like it all has to flow into the story. Like there's a flow to comics. Like there's, if anybody gets a chance, check out. And I know this is an old book, but it's still relevant even today. How to Draw the Marvel Way.
Yeah.
That book, it teaches so much as far as like drawing comics, that if you can finish that book, then you can draw and write a comic. Me, I was more interested in that book from a artist point of view, and like even then, like even if you just want to draw, and you want to learn how to tell like dynamic stories, you want to get that book. That's one thing I can say about modern comics. Like modern comics aren't as dynamic as they used to be. That's something I miss about comics, because it's not fun anymore to check out a comic. I mean, the stories, like, I mean, I'm not going to stories a lot because of the SJW movement and stuff like that. But like some of them aren't too bad, like Thor. After they got past the whole, turning Thor female and all this kind of stuff, like the new stuff where Thor's like, a herald of Galactus, and like that's really good. It's just that I think the art suffers in there too, because it's not as dynamic as it should be. You see where I'm going with that? Like, if there was a way, I don't know. I think they're taking more of a serious approach. Like they don't want to hire people who actually cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like they want people to do realistic artwork, and I think that has its place. I just don't think it's like it has its place all the time, because I mean, some of the greatest artists ever known in comics were cartoonists. They weren't serious artists, well, they never took a realistic point of view from their art. I mean, you talk about Todd McFarlane, like Rob Liefeld, and Joe Mad, one of the greatest artists ever to walk the earth when it comes to comics, right? And Joe Mad's style is so manga, it's crazy, like American manga. I would never say Joe Mad's style was like it's a serious style as far as like a realistic style. But yeah, dude, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I think that's one thing that's gone from modern comics is fun. And that's one thing we're trying to bring back with Doc Salem, Non-Devils, and all that kind of. I mean, even Heavy Metal Magazine, one of the things that I grew up on, within their submission guidelines, like there's no explicit sex. Like you can't have like sex in heavy metal, and I'm like, that's fucking retarded. Heavy Metal Magazine was all about breaking rules and shit like that. Like back in the day, I was like, now you're gonna say you can't do that? I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Welcome, Justin J. Money McClure. Good to have you.
J Money.
So, welcome, Eric McIntyre. I enjoy back issues the most right now, aside from CG. I am collecting Spawn back issues and also Milestone's Icon.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of back issues too. Like I've traded paintings for back issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a huge collection of stuff, dude. Like from especially 90s work. Like I was really impressed with like Dale Cohen and all those guys when they broke back in the 90s. But I've also went back and collected Dale's stuff from Aircell. When he first started doing comics. But yeah, dude, like back issues. And as a matter of fact, like I've gotten kind of bored with the well, I don't know, bored is the right word. Maybe I've collected all I can collect with DC and Marvel as far as old back issues. I've started going off into the like indie circuit. Like I've always been a fan of Joe and Tim Vigil. And by the way, Joe Vigil is going to be on the show tomorrow. My show. But also, like James O'Barr, fucking all these guys, and I'll be honest, like I watch a lot of cartoonists kayfabe too, and they've turned me on to a bunch of, issues that I thought were badass. I like because there's so many indie comics that I never even knew existed, and I was like,
oh yeah,
like this is amazing, Yeah, and I've also backed a ton of fucking comic skate books too.
Oh,
like
me too.
Like I'll be honest, maybe $500-$600 went out the window these past couple months. I mean, I sit there and I'm like, oh, should I? And then finally I'm like, fuck it, Even like you boys from Australia, I can't remember the name of their book. What's hold on. But yeah, I mean, anything coming from Australia or going to Australia is going to cost you a ton of money, dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Kozar.
Oh yeah,
like yeah, that's a badass book, dude. And I was like, the art is so good in that I had to do it, dude.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I was like, yeah, but the story, I don't know anything about it. It cost me like $50 to get the book, right? With shipping. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Whatever. I was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
And Jack Irons, like I backed Jack Irons because it reminds me of Brave Star.
Oh my god.
And also Fatal, I backed Fatal because that dude who does the artwork in that reminds me of fucking not Art Adams. Fucking what's his name? Neil Adams. Yeah, like his style reminds me of Neil Adams, big time. Dude. Like I've backed a ton of shit, and I'm not disappointed in any of that because all these guys that are illustrating these books and writing these books, they're fans of 90s work, dude. Like everything from the 90s. And while people are screaming like comics ain't selling, like the comic industry is going down the toilet, everything I've backed seems to be doing very well. Even my books seem to be doing very well. So maybe it's not like the industry sucks. Maybe it's the art and the writing that's coming out of the industry is sucking, because
for sure.
They got artists out there who want to work. I'm sure Joe Mad wants to work. Or Jay Lee wants to work, and I love Jay Lee's work. And I mean, even hired Jay Lee to do a cover, so obviously he wants to work.
Yeah. Eric McIntyre says, as far as modern comics go, Spawn is still pretty good, but CG is where it's at.
Spawn is good, but you know what? Spawn's also run by Todd McFarlane, and Todd knows where his bread's buttered at.
Yeah.
Todd never bent. He's still Spawn's still Spawn. It's the same Spawn that was back in the 90s, dude. So
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think he solicits other artists to, bring his creation to life as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know he hired a bunch of image artists too for a while. I mean, Angel Medina was doing. I mean, he had Angel Medina is one of my favorite artists, dude. Like all the time. I got a piece of Angel Medina's work somewhere in here.
Mm.
In fact, it's the clown from Spawn, the Violator.
Oh yeah.
Angel he had a sketch of the Violator like in a Superman costume, and I was like, I'll take that. But Angel's another artist that he's like a mega cartoonist. Like he's a super cartoonist, and him and Todd's style are pretty much on point. Like they pretty much parallel each other. Like in fact, I think that's why Todd hired him to work on Spawn and also on Kiss when Todd had the license for Kiss. And that's another artist that should be working in the mainstream comic industry, but he's not, because they're fucking. I don't know who's talking to these people and saying don't hire cartoonists to do comic books, but they better, I mean, stop listening to those people.
Yeah, really. Yeah, seriously. Let's see. Eric wanted to remark, awesome hat, Doc.
Thanks, man.
Eric
my lady hates this hat. She fucking hates
really?
it. That's why I like wearing it.
What's she hate about it?
She just doesn't like it. I don't know. She just maybe it's the cowboy hat thing. I don't know. We got it on our honeymoon. And I was just like, I wore it around on a honey. I was on the beach with it and shit like that. She's like, this is the stupidest hat ever.
Oh my gosh. Eric says the TV show The Boys got me interested in the Boys comics.
Yeah, that actually got me too. You know, I'm a big fan of the writer of The Boys now because of that. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you checked out Lock and Key, but Lock and Key is a badass show. You know.
Oh, I haven't watched it though.
Yeah, the books are fucking insane. I haven't gotten a copy. I've been like checking out different YouTube shows to be able to get, caught up on a lot of that stuff. But Lock and Key, badass. The Boys was fucking epic, dude. And that's another one where the Boys just breaks off. They don't give a shit about fucking social justice. They're just like do what we want, And I think that's where greatness comes from, is, because art is supposed to guide society. Society's not supposed to guide the artist. And when I say artist, I mean the writers, the artists, like the people who draw, everybody who contributes to media. And right now we're in a weird sector, a weird point where society is trying their best to go ahead and force artists to bend to their will, and it's not working, because society doesn't know what it wants. We're the shepherds. We're the ones who show them what's good, and we start trends. We do stuff like that, and yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you got people who don't buy comics or are saying, no, you can't do that in comics. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
None at all.
People who don't fucking watch sci-fi or anything like that, telling people that you can't do that in Star Wars, or Star Wars has to go this way. You see where I'm going? Like, this is a fucking mental asylum, dude. I mean, it's crazy,
So who distributes or who produces the Boys comic book?
That's something you got to ask them, dude. I have no idea. I got one issue of the Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Because I would guess that it would still be either. Wait, let's see. The Boys,
Dark Horse, or Image, or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know those two are the only two companies that haven't really bent the knee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe Dark Horse has, maybe Image has, but I mean, if that was the case, that means like the creators over at Image would have to bend the knee too, and I don't think they're willing to do that. Yeah. Well, the founders. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Well, except for Jim Lee. Jim Lee might do it if they get a big enough paycheck. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Abel Salazar, Michael Bancroft. Yeah. Barton Brothers, Liam Gray.
Yeah.
Those are some good creators.
We have great creators, dude. Like Monster MD. I back Monster. Oh, and Skits. I back Skits too because
that looks cool.
it reminded me of. I don't want to blow the dude's head up too much, but I think he might be better than Sam Keith. I was saying, and that's one thing I can say right now. Like, I think a lot of people in CG should definitely be working in mainstream comics. You know, I think I should be working in mainstream comics, but I can't. There's no way I can get a job doing mainstream. And as a matter of fact, now I don't think I'd ever want to have a job in mainstream comics.
Right.
Because once you give an artist the ability to do whatever they want, with nobody overseeing them saying you can't do that,
that's freedom.
You tainted the pool at that point. Like, he doesn't want to go anywhere else, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you got people like the dude who does skits. I mean, that dude should be fucking working at it, fucking Marvel, but he's not, you know? I mean, because nobody's going to hire him. You know, he doesn't toe the line. And then you got, fuck, dude, I mean, you got so many people. Like your boy who's working on Shinobi Sasquatch. Like, he should be over there working with Marvel, you know? I mean, he's basically a photocopy of Stephen Platt, you know, without the attitude. Yeah. So,
the attitude, yeah.
Yeah, because I think Stephen Platt was a mental case when he worked for Rob Liefeld. But
no,
yeah. But I mean, why would anybody want to go ahead and work for those big companies when you got CG, you know, and we producing everything we've ever wanted to produce, and people like it. They like it good, like enough to go ahead and pay for it and keep us going. You know, I mean, I don't yeah, dude. I don't think I'll ever like want to go shopping around or submit work to anybody from here on out. You know?
Oh yeah. Eric says Kozor does look good.
Yeah.
Hammer looks good too. That is the most.
Doc Salem looks fantastic. I did pinups for Hammer, and I never did a pinup for Kozar. Like, I was talking to him about doing a trade out, but we never actually finalized anything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hammer looks good too. That is the most recent CG book I backed. The 90s was the epitome of comic art. I remember just staring at comic panels for hours as a kid, just fascinated with the art.
Well, that two things the 90s proved. The 90s proved that it showed like how good comic art can actually be. And it also proved that you can't build a company on art alone and make it successful. You see what I'm saying? Like, because Image started out fantastic, but most of the books that came out of Extreme Studios was unreadable. They were just pretty. They're like the hot blonde that has no intelligence at all. You know what I'm saying? It was like, so what do you think of this movie? I like cake. What's 2 + 2? X.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like there was a lot of that, dude. Even Wildstorm produced like some of the most beautiful books you've ever seen. But like, I mean, I don't even know where he was going with Wildcats. I mean, it was the greatest thing ever. It's just that I don't think there was a meaning to it, you know. So, you know, I mean, some of my favorite books was Spawn, Pit. I even like Derek Larson stuff, like Savage Dragon. But you know, but those guys knew how to write books. Like they wrote their own stuff when they worked for Marvel, you know. So, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, they did prove that, you know, you can't build the company on art alone. Like, you needed to have good writers in there too. And I think they started like Malibu started another company called Brava, and also the Ultraverse, and both Brava and the Ultraverse were based on strong writers, you know. Actually, Brava was based on I made a mistake. Brava was based on strong artist writers from the past, like Jim Starlin Walt Simonson and stuff like that. And they were moderately successful. I don't think they pushed that company the way they should have, though. But Ultraverse was a disaster. The only book that was even decent out of that whole thing was Prime. And because it had the great Norm Bogolfinoja and I forget the writer on that one, but it was a really good book. But you had the perfect combination of a great artist with a great writer.
That's familiar. Ultraverse, yeah.
Yeah. But that company eventually went down in flames.
Oh, damn. Eric says, "Oh yeah, skits. I backed it too. The art is so good and the story sounds interesting.
Yeah.
3 variant covers and 3 variant stories. That idea is just cool to me. As far as I know, they're the first ones ever, CG or otherwise, to do that kind of."
Now, Eric, go back Doc Salem. It's got great art, and it's got a pretty good writer too.
So on,
you got the link for Doc Salem? Let me send you the link for that. Just
actually, I think I can pull it up. It's in demand, right?
Yeah, it's in demand.
I can usually find books relatively quickly.
Let's see here.
Here we go, in demand.
That's it. Yeah.
I wonder why. Let me check something here. Oh, all right. So here you actually have 3 campaigns deck, and then there's Rockabilly.
Rockabilly's closed out. I closed that one out so I can concentrate on Doc Salem. And Non-Devils, I figured we'd go do some pre-promotion by launching it. But there's nothing has to be finished with Devils. Devils getting mailed out this week. And Doc Salem's my passion project, I guess you could say. Yeah. It's written and drawn by me, and it's I've had so much fun doing this book. It's kind of like picture Dr. Frankenstein, except he becomes his own monster. Like the monster actually, everything goes as planned, like as far as the movie and stuff like that, stays the script until he gets the hell beat out of him by the monster. And Igor has to save his life by injecting him with the elixir of life, and Dr. Frankenstein becomes Frankenstein's monster at that point, and he goes, actually, if you want to play the video, it'd probably be better than me babbling my way through it. But
just a sec here. Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
You know the story. A mad genius, an unholy creation. The world, of course, remembers the monster, not the man. But sometimes, when you look closely, there's more to a tale. Sometimes the monster is the man. This is the story of Dr. Salem, Monster Hunter. Dr. Victor Frankenstein endures life-threatening wounds inflicted by his very own creation. His trusty assistant Igor injects him with the elixir of life, which puts him in a state of suspended animation. When he finally awakens, many years have passed and times have changed. The world that he knew is long gone and the tables have turned. Now monsters have emerged from the shadows and taken over. Victor Frankenstein finds that he is one in man due to the devastation his creation had wrought. To make amends for his transgressions, Victor assumes the guise of Dr. Salem and hunts down rogue monsters. This new and exciting series, created by artist and writer Preston Asevedo, is a 52-page graphic novel that combines Lovecraftian horror with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to give you a fresh new look into the world of classic monsters. So join the Doc Salem army and help Doc Salem bring peace and balance to the world, one monster at a time. Thank you for your support.
I don't know if you can tell, but Doc Salem has a strong Lovecraftian vibe too.
Pretty cool.
I wanted to include not only like universal monsters and shit like that, but also the a lot of Lovecraftian stuff. Like, I don't know, something about tentacles. And we're also including in that issue. I'm also doing a crossover with It kicks off the first CG crossover with Six Gun Gorilla and Doc Alpha, the Lit Devils character. Yeah.
So there's a huge stretched canvas painting. Yeah, I remember seeing this.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said I needed a big goal. So I was like, okay, let me put that out there. I don't think anybody's ever going to take advantage of it. But,
cool. But the crossover is right here.
Yeah.
So
I'm also going to be doing the artwork for Six Gun Gorilla 8. That's going to be coming in 2021 as well.
Wow, really?
Yeah. They had something tragic happen to the artist that was working on that, and so I told Brian I'd take up his slack. You know, the guy was fantastic. He was a great artist. You know, unfortunately, we're not built to last.
Oh, shucks. So is this actually in development, or are you guys already done with it, or?
I'm kicking it off in my issue, and each writer is going to continue the story in their IP.
Oh, that's how you're doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So
I first thought it was going to be a whole separate book with all three.
No. Like it's gonna the epilogue is gonna happen in Doc Salem, and then it's going to continue either in Six Gun or Doc Alpha, whichever story comes out next. There's also going to be a Doc Salem Blood Hunt crossover. Me and Sim are doing one for 2021. 2021 is going to be a huge year, dude. For CG and CG IPs and all kinds of stuff like that. And anybody who likes my work, there's going to be a ton of it to collect next year. So.
Oh yeah. Just so you know, Eric's looking at your Indiegogo right now.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean it's going to be insane. It's going to be crazy. Yeah.
Sounds like it. Yeah. Eric says I was just about to ask if it had some Lovecraft in it.
It does. Yeah. Like I love Lovecraftian beast, you know, and I figured if I'm going to do a monster book, I'm going to do one that has like pretty much anything I want to put in like Lovecraftian monsters. I want to do like universal monsters, you know, like there's the gorilla, that's Six Gun Gorilla from Brian Kriskow's series. And like in there, I got the mob is made up by a council of monsters. You know, you got like Vlad Dracula, you know, you got all these you know, it's got a ghoul, you know, the witches council, all of this makes up the mob, like the underground. And it's crazy, dude. Like it's pretty like Doc Salem, like as far as his personality goes, picture like the classic Batman live action series, except Batman's kind of schizophrenic. You know what I'm saying? Like he comes off all right, but he's really not. Like he's got these something cracked his brain when he was during the sleep that he went through when he was injected with the elixir of life, you know. Mm-hmm. And he's got this like these psychotic overtones where like when he's killing Dagon, like he's just emptying both barrels on him and he's thinking to himself, he's like, you know, this is the greatest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nuts. But he talks like he's from like the 1800s. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a weird, fucked up thing when it comes to Doc Salem. But I want to it's kind of my take on a Golden Age hero. Like I've always wanted to tackle a Golden Age hero, but I didn't want to do it like the corny Golden Age hero type of vibe to it. I wanted to make him like kind of crazy, you know, like American Psycho meets, I don't know, like classic Captain America or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool doing a crossover.
Yeah.
I mean, CG's building up a universe. multiple universes, a multiverse. What the?
I think it solidifies the multiverse too, like our universe. You know, like it validates it in a way. You know? And of course, there's some alternate covers by some other CG and non-CG artists, and yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
It's cool stuff. I like the addition of Wart the Wizard.
I like doing mashups like that. I think it's badass.
Yeah. Do you envision, or has it already been explored, the is it? Wait, is this Sunsworn?
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I like to do mashups. Like I did one with Shinobi Sasquatch, but that one sold. And this one, me and the Death Swan guy, I can't remember his name at the moment, but we're both Kiss fans. So,
Red Gaze, right?
So I included Gene Simmons in there. I just can't show him on there because I'll get in trouble. So it's like Doc Salem, Jeff Swan, and Gene Simmons both going into attack mode on some motherfucker.
Yeah, Gene Simmons would come for your money.
Yeah. But that's also, those sketches are also 15 by 23 inches tall. 15 inches wide by 23 inches tall, because I like to draw big.
Nice.
Because I like condensing detail and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're definitely getting your money's worth with all of that.
That is so cool. Yeah. So that's Doc Salem backed that book.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where did my thing go? All right here.
So what does WyzGyz Entertainment put out?
I don't presently have an active Indiegogo campaign. I'm still in the planning development stages. WyzGyz Entertainment mostly came into being as a means to celebrate the awesomeness of Comicsgate.
Yeah.
While also covering topics from Fandom Menace.
Oh, okay.
I go in, I do tons of promotion of CG books, and have a lot of guests, as many as I can squeeze in.
That's cool.
And to promote their book and hopefully help get them funded. Let me see.
I like doing that too, actually.
Yeah.
Like anything I can do to help a campaign out, if I like, what I'm looking at, and it looks like they really put their heart into it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and like, I don't have a huge following, but I have a pencil. I don't know if you've seen, but I've been posting pinups on my Twitter and stuff like that I've done for different campaigns. And
yeah.
Like sometimes, like if I see a campaign failing and I know it's a good campaign, like I'll go ahead and do a pinup for them, or whatever they want to use it for, and like the cost to be them putting it for sale on their campaign. You know what I'm saying? And that way I can make a little money off of it, or hooking me up with a book, or something like that. But I want to see people succeed if it's a good book, and yeah,
you gotta like the product that you're backing, and you gotta have a connection with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not really worth it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first campaign I've seen that happen to was Mike Murphy's The Gods Fear Me.
Uh-huh.
And I like the story and I like the idea of the Gods Fear Me. And I thought he had a really good concept, and I just couldn't sit by and just let it, fail, So I was like, how can I help? And I was like, like at the time I only had like 40 people on my YouTube, or 30 people. And I had like less than 100 people on Twitter. So I was like, all right, let me see if I could do a sketch. So I did a sketch. I think even Mike asked for people to help out, maybe advertise him a little bit. So I did a sketch, and it turned out well. You know, I mean, it's like people liked it, and it helped sell books, and it, you know,
Nice.
and so that's just been my method ever since. Is, you know, if I can help out, I try. You know, but there's so many CG books out there that, you know, that aren't getting a lot of attention. You know,
Yeah.
and I think and it's not because they're not advertising. It's just that people don't know what to expect from them. You know, and or people haven't heard it. Like, it's just the word's not getting around fast enough. You know?
Yeah, that's kind of where I come in.
Yeah.
I try and highlight some of the lesser known or lesser advertised ones,
Yeah.
and give them a platform where they can delve deeper into what the book is about, what it is they're offering, and what they bring to the table.
Yeah. The problem with shows like that, though, is that, like, if we would have started this show and I would have just came on and you was like, okay, let's talk about your book. Okay, what about the tears? You know, that would have been the worst show ever. And I don't blame anybody for tuning out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of have to segue into it in a way where it's like you selling, but you're not really selling. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
There's a certain level of bringing some entertainment to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's also why I try and be real flexible with every guest, and give them the time they need to, you know, cover their product, and not try and pigeonhole them into this tiny little snippet of time where, you know, you don't really come out learning anything more than when you first started.
Yeah. Well, I like this one-on-one thing too. Yeah.
I do too.
That's always good. That way you don't have 1,000 people talking at once. But then again, there's also something to be said about being in a group. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah, you can play off each other, and the energy kind of bounces around, and yeah. But I think the larger groups are suited for other tasks, if you will.
Yeah.
I think one-on-one is best for promotion. That's just my opinion. Fade had to step away, gonna go eat dinner. Says check you guys out later. Eric's wishing Fade a great evening. And let me see. Another promo for Doc Salem. Monster Hunter. Yeah, I mean, eventually I like to release a couple books of my own, but like I said, it's in the planning stages. The challenge is these are IPs that I came up with back in like 1984.
Yeah.
And I worked on them furiously when I was into them. But then it was one of those things where, you know, you develop an early interest in drawing and animation. And then I'm not like knocking my parents or anything, but it's one of those things where they commend you, your parents commend you for, you know, having an interest in art, but then they go, you know, when you start thinking about a career, try and find something that you know, you can make money off of. So I kind of put that on the any drawing and animation on the back burner.
Yeah.
Pursued electronics, jumped into.
You know what? This sounds so familiar because my parents actively just like straight up tried to discourage me from doing art, you know, because my uncle is an artist and he's
really?
But he's a very broke artist because he never learned any type of business, the business side of art. You see what I'm saying? So they put me in electronics in trade school, and I failed out, you know, because I wasn't interested in electronics. I was too busy doodling while I was in class. But they did teach me a lesson, and the lesson was that, like, to be able to succeed at this, I had to prove them wrong, you know, and proving them wrong meant that anything it took for me to go ahead and be successful at this, I had to do it, which means I had to learn every facet of doing like art. I couldn't just stop at a certain point and say, okay, I'm good now, I'll quit. or I'm going to specialize. I'm only doing this type of art. So I had to learn how to airbrush cars, which I made a ton of money doing that. All this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I totally feel where you're coming from. Do you still draw, or do you
I still draw. I'm trying to do this thing. You've probably heard of Red Valkyrie or Shay the Red.
Yeah.
Another one of our fellow promoters, and she's working on projects of her own. She initially started this thing a while ago called Art Every Day, which some people do, and the goal is to do at least a sketch every day. I started that, and then I kind of stopped, and I have to get back into it. But my goal is to get back into practice because, like I said, these IPs I had wanted to, bring into fruition are back from '84.
Yeah.
And I'm rusty when it comes to drawing because I literally put all my energies into computer tech support, IT, the last 17 years. So, like, I've got one IP that is very much along the lines of comic strip material, a la Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes, that kind of style. And then my other IP is traditional superhero. Back to the 80s, 90s type of superhero books. I grew up in collecting comics back when they were doing, when Silver Surfer was pretty popular, Booster Gold, Dazzler.
So you grew up in the Kirby era.
Yeah.
Right? Like Kirby and Burns and
Transformers, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And I was actually into the campier side of things where comics were still escapism.
Yeah. That's what they should be.
Before they went ultra realistic and started pulling politics from the real world into comics. I mean, that and the rising price of comic floppies is what kind of ended my collecting days in comics.
Yeah.
When it went from 75 cents to $1.50.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I wasn't actually I was okay with $1.50. You know what I'm saying? I was okay with $2, but now I don't know how much they're going for now. For
like $4.55 a pop now from last year. So let's see here. Eric says backer 290. The art looks very good. And
hey, thanks.
I
appreciate it.
Monster Hunter sounds fun. Right on.
Yeah, it's yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. And trust me, dude, it's going to be great. You're going to love it. We're running a little bit behind right now on getting it produced because of the colorist. But he's working his dick off right now trying to get it. And he really is. I mean, this whole COVID thing just really threw things for a loop, dude. Like we're trying like hell to get it out for October, and I don't know. I mean, I never thought coloring would be the thing that would stop the book from getting done. I always thought like it would be me, like I would run late or something like that, but yeah, for some reason it's, but no, it turns out that, COVID has affected the Philippines as well. So,
oh, dang.
Yeah.
Did colorists actually get it or contract it or?
No, well, I don't know. I mean, what they did was this is what he told me anyway, is like they locked him in his house and they weren't able to get food. And from what I understand, like where he lives at, they never seen that as a priority. you know,
Ooh.
get their people food, you know.
Oh, dang.
So they weren't allowed to leave, but they weren't allowed to eat either. So I don't know how that works, you know. And I was like, dude, I'll mail you a burger or something like that. I just don't know if it'll make it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
really.
So it got really, really crazy, you know. And to be honest, I think things are really still too crazy. But and I don't know if you want my opinion on it, but I'm just I can't get down with all this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
there's too many. I don't know. It seems real controversial. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really believe what's happening.
well,
and from what I understand, it's being inflated. My doctor told me this. This isn't just me saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, the news is telling you one thing, but then professionals are telling you something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And you can't really trust the news nowadays either, because they're not, you know, they're fucking lying is what I'm trying to say.
You haven't been able to trust mainstream media for a very long time, actually.
Yeah.
And the numbers are seriously inflated. I saw a report, an article recently that's been making the rounds on social media, stating that the CDC quietly readjusted their numbers, indicating that only about 9% of deaths are specifically COVID related.
Yeah.
Versus the gigantic number they've been touting all this time, which is pretty.
Well, we better not use. Let's just call it C19, just to keep your channel from getting, you know, taken off. But here's the thing: like, my doctor, she said that if you were to go to the hospital and you were dying of a heart attack, and you get to the hospital and you die of that heart attack, like, they can't revive, you know, your heart gave out, exploded, whatever. But they tested you and you came back positive for C19, you would be counted as a C19 death and not a death due to old age or a heart attack or anything like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And or if you got in a car wreck and you got massive head trauma and you died because of the head trauma, and you were to go to the hospital and die, or you died on a scene or something like that, but you tested positive for C19, you'd be counted as a C19 death and not as dying of a car accident. You see what I'm saying? Like, it'd be complications due to C19 or something like that, you know?
Same for things involving chronic illness, cancer, heart disease. Those
absolutely.
Kinds of are also considered that. And you know why, right? It's the kickbacks to the hospitals. You get
absolutely. That's what she said. She said it's a money game, you know, and because every time clinics don't get nothing, just like, that's why she was telling me. It's because she was like, I get nothing. This is a clinic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a private practice, so she gets nothing.
Right.
She said, but the hospitals, they get big bonuses for every time they get a death or a COVID case, a CV-19 case, you know, and once you start throwing money into it, you also throw in corruption. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can't get behind all of this. I even posted something on Facebook about it, and like, I've never lost so many friends in one day.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You either lose your quote unquote friends on Facebook, or you get a bunch of SJWs dogpiling you, trying to silence you. It's usually
it was crazy, dude. It was like, you know, I don't know. They tried to throw facts, and I was like, but it's all coming from the same source. You can't trust that source. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have to be smarter than this, dude. I mean, you know, and I mean, it's nuts, dude.
Yeah, as I understand it, the kickback range is anywhere from 13,000 to 40,000 per death.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect your insurance. Like, your insurance is paying nothing. You know, this is all coming from the government.
Yeah, which is insane. Eric also added, the tentacle monster looks like a mixture of the Hulk, Cthulhu, and Savage Dragon.
Yeah, I know, dude. I love like kaiju and shit like that. Like this book is packed with monsters. Wait till you see what comes up next. Like it gets crazier in this book. You know, it
Very
doesn't
cool
stop there. They got a creature called the Gug, and the Gug has these boils on its back, and it gives birth to these little creatures that come. Yeah, dude, it's nuts, dude.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool design. Yeah, COVID threw a huge wrench in everyone's plan, but thankfully I've been getting some decent sized bonuses from work that I've been using to buy comics and guns. Yeah, hell yeah, right on.
Everybody's been buying guns. The problem is it's the ammunition. I got one box of ammunition, dude. Like it's either you can't find it or when you do find it, it's like overpriced. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Gotta find it in bulk or something, or go to one of those gun shows.
Yeah.
Never trust the news. Always look at the research. Yep.
I like to say like I don't care if you're a Fox listener or CNN or something like that. But if you listen to both, you're gonna get two different arguments, and it's gonna be bullshit on both sides. But there's always gonna be a little bit of truth hidden in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you also got podcasts and all these things. Like if you put it all together, you can siphon out a little bit of truth. You know?
And you barely get like 1/5 of a story between them all.
The fucked up part is it's making us all seem like we're conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, that's one of those methods that extremists use. You know, you repeat the same thing over and over and call anyone who disagrees with you names and stuff until those who are speaking the truth are labeled as conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, is that they try their best to discredit anybody who wants to speak the truth, you know, or cancel them. And at first I was like, why are they doing this? What is the big plan? I don't, you know, and then I started thinking, because a lot of this, like as far as the riots and all this other shit, like, let me put it this way, Amazon stock has gone through the roof. People are buying online, eBay, Amazon, all that shit. And it just so happens that Amazon is also a sponsor of BLM and all these other, you know, things. And I'm like, you know, if you go by the money, you know, you'll see where it's all coming from, you know, if you follow the money, you know?
Yeah. And if you, speaking of which, if you follow where all BLM donations go, it goes to the Democratic National Committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a illegal money laundering operation.
Yeah.
Eric says, yeah, I stay off Facebook. Everyone's a scientist, economist, and activist there. Isn't that the truth?
It's it's completely crazy. And it's turning people against each other too, which is crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
It is. Like even family members.
Yeah.
Like I've got lots of liberal extended family members, and they act as though there's not the DNC can do no wrong. And I'm like, look at all the crap they're doing. How can you even begin to believe what they're saying and this rhetoric?
Well, that, and here's like, from what I'm hearing, a lot of liberals are planning on voting for Trump during the next election. And the reason I think that is because the DMC made a huge mistake. Huge. You know, they made people feel scared and unsafe, you know, and they wanted it that way, you know, because they figured they can control everybody if they kept the fear going.
Mm-hmm.
But people aren't that stupid. If people are scared, they'd rather have protection rather than, they would trade anything for safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Trump offers safety. And I'm like, you fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's craziness, dude, because, and then another thing too, like fucking where in what universe is BLM made of mostly white people? You know what I'm saying? Yelling at black people, calling them Uncle Toms and shit like that. I'm like, have you lost your fucking mind, dude? I was like, Black Lives Matter, just not his life?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, the whole thing is just crazy, and it smells of political like bullshit, you know. And
Oh yeah.
same thing with comics. I mean, it all has to do with each other, you know, and everything's being affected by it.
Yeah. And BLM is like partnered up with Antifa, and the other weirdness that has come out of it is only certain Black Lives Matter, according to them, because you hear about all the deaths.
Only the ones that toe the line.
Yeah, like the little child. He was, I guess, 3 or 4 years old. Little black kid who got killed by BLM rioters.
Yeah, they shot him.
You hear nothing about that.
Oh yeah, you do, but you only hear about it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about it in mainstream news. You know, you don't hear about that. You know, like the mayor, like the guy where his son got killed in Chaz, right? You know, not the kid. I'm talking about the guy's like teenage son, and I think his son was a special needs kid or something like that, and they shot him. You know, they killed him, and so the mayor refused to do anything about it, and then the next day, Trump called him up and gave him his condolences. He was like, "Look, I can't come in there because the mayor, I don't have any jurisdiction to come in unless the mayor says that I can, bring whoever in to go ahead and clean this shit up." And he said, "But you have my condolences. I'm very sorry this happened to you." And he came on the news and he's like, "Yeah, Trump came and he personally, the president of the United States called this guy and said, 'I'm sorry that you lost your son.'" Not the mayor, because it's her fucking fault. You know, it was the president of the United States took time out of his schedule to go ahead and call this guy, and that says a lot, and I'm not a political guy. I could give a shit about, I used to could give a shit about who's in charge, but things have gone way off of the rails, dude. Like, I mean, when I'm starting to become political, things are fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it's waking up a lot of people for sure. Eric says they also picked Biden, a man who acts and talks like he has dementia.
He does have dementia. They picked Biden, the same guy who called black kids roaches. You know what I'm saying? He said poor kids aren't as smart as white kids. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
Oh, man. Yeah, seriously.
The dude he's too old, I don't even know why they picked him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you guys want to lose. Like, you just don't want to win. I honestly think that. Like, I didn't think Trump wanted to win the presidency, right? Because when he was running, he didn't act like it. He acted like he was on a fucking, a television show or some shit like that. Like,
right.
And then all of a sudden he won, and I was like, well, this is crazy. And now the Democrats are doing it.
Yeah, I was speaking with another guest earlier today, and he was saying he can't help but wonder if the Democrats are calling this a wash, not expecting to win, and figuring that the odds are that Biden will lose, but in the meantime, behind the scenes, they're potentially grooming someone like AOC to be the next Obama in the next election, which would be kind of a scary thought.
Well, yeah, I mean, Obama didn't do shit.
No, other than cause a racial divide in the country.
Yeah, and I do believe, like, here's the thing, like, they were complaining because Bush, like, when he got elected, his coronation or whatever, they spent like what was it, 70 million or something like that, like, or 50 million, something like that on his coronation. And they were like, how dare you when the country's in debt, you know, and all this kind of crap. And I think they threw, dude, it was like 10 billion they spent on his coronation, you know, as like president, you know. And I was like, just a big party. Saying, and nobody batted an eye, and I'm like, this is crazy, dude. This is fucking crazy. You know?
Yeah, wasn't it something like 4 times the amount of the Bush one?
Yeah, it was nuts. And then, like, I mean, and then from what I understand, like, he just talked a lot of shit. Like, he never really did anything, you know, like, except for like deport a lot of people. Literally put people in cages, you know what I'm saying? It's nuts, dude.
Yeah, and everyone conveniently forgets about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you know what? They forgot about a lot of things that had to deal with the Clintons too. Like, the Monica Lewinsky thing was wag the dog all over again, dude, because everybody forgot about Bill Clinton selling plots inside Arlington National Cemetery to donors. You know? Like, they forgot about him. Like the chick that was the dude that was going after his wife. Like, that dude he was found dead on White House property. You know, they forgot about the big fucking fundraising party he ran out of the country, and it was a bunch of drug dealers and shit like that, like, given to his reelection. They forgot about all of that shit because now it was about him getting a blowjob in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy, dude. People.
Oh, go ahead.
No, they're just, people's attention span is just like really, and I thought I had a short attention span.
Yeah, and they try and ignore things like Benghazi and Hillary's home government email server.
Yeah, that and her so-called fundraiser funnels money directly into their account.
Their nonprofit is one corrupt organization for sure.
Yeah.
Eric says, I don't know what state you guys are in, but here in California, the Democratic Party is trying to get Prop 16 passed, which will repeal the civil rights initiative that prohibits the state to discriminate based on race, sex, gender, religion, etc.
I heard about that, actually. Yeah. No, I think our state, like, I'm in Louisiana, I think everybody over here is just worried about wearing masks. Like, if you get caught outside, it's like $250 or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. This whole thing, as far as I'm concerned, is a shamdemic.
No, it's definitely it's a scam, dude.
Yeah.
It's a complete scam.
Yeah, it's about control and conditioning people and seeing how much government can get away with.
But here's the thing, like, if anybody is looking for a mask on my TeePublic store,
nice segue.
You can get a Doc Salem mask. Wear it with pride. Indeed. Also, I got the Vampirella booby mask.
Vampirella booby mask.
And a Lady Death booby mask, if you want it.
Oh my gosh. Is that all on the Doc Salem campaign?
No, it's a TeePublic store.
TeePublic. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want to wear like Vampirella's boobs on your face.
So what do you search for once you're at TeePublic?
Let me see. Actually,
let's check that out real quick.
Let's see. I just uploaded a Doc Salem t-shirt on there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I made an order. You know, I figured, fuck it, dude. Just get a one-off. I like wearing my own stuff.
I'm in Ohio, and they're all about, stupid governors, like, mandatory masks for anyone going into a business and anyone working in a business. It's just garbage. The
Put it in
Clintons.
the private chat.
All right, awesome. The Clintons and the three strikes law screwed a lot of families over too. Yep. Welcome, Abel Salazar, Louisiana, where they made the masterpiece that is True Detective Season 1.
Yeah, no, it was filmed like a couple of exits over from where I'm at. Actually.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah, it was crazy. They were filming a lot of shit down here for a while, and all of a sudden it just went away because of the tax breaks. Yeah.
Eric says politics are an ugly thing and bring the worst out of people. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So does religion. You know, it's just it's that shitty thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We call society.
Chud.
Is
this the character from Halo?
Yeah.
Master Chief?
I do traditional art. Like everything I do either on paper, canvas, or whatever. And I made a name for myself by doing painted canvases of like sci-fi paintings and shit like that. Yeah. And those are a bunch of paintings that I did. So I started throwing my art on t-shirts and shit like that after a while.
Godzilla with, I think, Ghidorah?
Yeah, that's an old painting actually. I was still like kind of adjusting to working with acrylics, you know.
The one in the middle, is that the three-headed dog from Harry Potter? Or from
No, I did I want to do a Wicked Fairy Tales series, you know.
Oh.
So I did Red Riding Hood, and it's kind of Red Riding Hood riding Cerberus out of hell. Yeah. And the also, like, I don't know if I got it on there, but I did a Wizard of Oz and also a second Wizard of Oz. I like doing dark versions of children's fairy tales. You know what I'm saying? And so I did a Wizard of Oz, and then I did another Wizard of Oz called Hollow the Monkey King. And I'm not sure if that one's on there either, but I got to put those up, you know. I'm not finished with that either. I want to do one where it's the scarecrow out in the middle of a field with these wicked crows all around him. And another one where I do a steampunk Tin Man. You know, for some reason the next one I want to do was Goldilocks, you know.
Okay.
And I had a wicked idea for a Goldilocks paint. I just haven't had time to get to it. Yeah.
Have you been sketching out ideas?
Yeah. No, I did all 4 turtles too, and for some reason, like, I don't think people like the way I did their faces, something like that. Yeah. So fuck, for a while I couldn't even give those things away. It was crazy. I'm talking about the original art, not the t-shirt. Yeah.
The Alien Queen is nice. I like that.
I love doing xenomorphs. You know, I didn't realize how big the fandom was for aliens. You know,
yeah, it's pretty.
Oh my god, it's huge.
Oh yeah.
Like I did one to see if it would sell, and then 10 of them.
Oh, sounds like you froze.
Like, this is crazy. People really is.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Sounded like you froze for a moment. Oh, wait.
It's like my
Test. Oh, it looks like you froze again. Are you receiving incoming call? Uh-oh. He's clocking. Come on, Doc. Come on, you can do it. Come on in, Doc.
Are we back?
Yeah, there you are. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my I think my internet's going down. It's
you have a storm coming?
I'm having trouble over here. Huh?
You have a storm coming or something?
It's just bad service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't think this is the end of it.
Internet service provider issues.
Yeah, but anyway, back Doc Salem. Check out Non-Devils. Back it if you want. I got a limited supply of those. If you want, check out my my T Public store. And it's been great, dude. We're gonna have to do this again. You know?
Absolutely. Eric says that Xenomorph Queen looks cool. The Guyver art piece is magnificent.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't put that on a shirt yet. I got to do that.
Michelangelo, second from the right. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Steampunk Tin Man sounds cool. Mr. Freeze, I will freeze you later. He's back.
But yeah. Besides, I got to get some work done anyway. It's been a blast.
Work that old thing.
Yeah. But yeah, check everything out, and everything's on sale in T Public right now. So I bought a couple. A couple on its way.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, would you do us the honor, and you got the floor? Share with the world how you can be found on social media.
Oh, Nikki the Pipe on Twitter, Preston Asevedo on Instagram, Art of Preston Asevedo on Facebook, or Preston Asevedo on Facebook, and I think that's it.
All right. Yeah, I got to say I love your artwork, and
and Sexy Artist on OnlyFans.
Oh, you got your own OnlyFans.
Nah, I'm fucking around on that. But it's been a blast, dude.
As everyone furiously jots that down to go check it out. You can find me on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets, on Twitch at WyzGyz Twitches, YouTube it's WyzGyz Entertainment, and you can find me at the same at Facebook. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Indicate you want all notifications, not just none. And hopefully YouTube will give you some word when you post a new video or stream. And I want to thank everyone in chat for joining us today. Also, everyone who will be watching in replay. And thanks to our very special guest, Doc Salem, a.k.a. Nikki the Pipe, a.k.a. Preston Asevedo. And we are going to end the broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.